YouTube? It's me, Spooky Memphis, welcoming you back to check this out. The show we take a look at all sorts of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And have a good time playing them. Happy Halloween to everyone. Today is Halloween, and we have a suitably Halloween-themed deck today. It's not Ghost Tricks this year because I've played like all the various kinds of Ghost Tricks, I think. So we're playing something new. This is a deck based on these new cards, Hallo, the Spirit of Tricks, and Ween, the Spirit of Treats. Combining them in one deck, I think they're normally in different decks, but today we're combining them. We have Fiends and we have Zombies. We have the Yubel monsters, and we have other zombie monsters. I don't know if this is an archetype, but we have other zombies. We have some other cards as well to combine with those. And we're going to go into yugioh Pro. I'm going to show off this deck, show off the combos and the wombos, the what do's and the what not do's, and have a good time playing this deck. It's going to be a good time, I think. Very, very big combos that this deck can do, and we'll hopefully get to see as many as possible. So, if you want the whole deck list, it'll be at the end. That'll be that'll be the treat if you can watch all of our tricks, and we'll have a good time. Yeah. So, let's get started and show off what this deck can do. Alrighty, everyone. The first opponent. Another day and another card game. Time for some tricks and some treats and stuff. We can go first or second in this deck. First is generally better, but it can work either way. So what we're going to do, because I have all these Fiends, I'm going to activate Trick or Treat. This is the card that searches out Hallo or Ween, and these are cards that are good for like late in the game because you need your graveyard to be full of cards to use them. But you search whatever is what you're closest to using. So I have a lot of Fiends, so I'm going to get Hallo. I'm going to activate the Grass is Greener because I have more cards in my deck than my opponent. So that lets me get rid of a lot of my cards. And Glow Up Bloom and Banshee are also here, so I'll use both of those. I've actually gotten rid of all of my... I seem to have gotten rid of all of my field spells, so that's not necessarily good, but I think I can still work with that. What did I send to the graveyard? We sent a lot of good things to the graveyard, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to start by summoning some Sorrow Lotus. This is a Fiend monster, of course. I can't tribute it right now, because I've sent Yubel to the graveyard. All my Yubels. That's where the grass looks greener can actually be difficult for you. Alright, I'll have to do something else then. I could summon Ween and burn my opponent for lots of damage, potentially. But I don't think my opponent would fall for that, so let's go for Unizombie. I think the grass is a great card if you want to fill the grave, but it can be difficult sometimes. Let's go ahead and send a monster from our deck to the grave. We'll increase the level of Balerdroch for this. And we're gonna send, where is it? Normally this is where I would go for my zombie, the Goblin Zombie. I can still show this part off. It won't be as good, but I can still do it, so I will do that. So we'll discard another monster. In this case, I think I have to get rid of Hallo, unfortunately. Did I get rid of everything Yubel-wise? Not everything. Okay, that's good. So now I've gotten rid of those two. And we're going to go ahead and summon out this monster. We'll summon out Vampire Sucker and set a card. I think we made the best out of a not as good mill of our deck. And with any luck, the next turn will bring us more cards. That's the hope here, because, yeah, maybe I should have waited on using Grass Looks Greener. Yeah, that was my mistake. But now I have a King Sarcophagus, that fixes things a little bit. You know, it really depends on timing with that card, I suppose. But it's okay, I think we can still make this work. DDD Flame King Genghis. Okay, that's a big monster. What does it do? If a DD is special summoned, you can target DD in the grave and special summon it. This lets you get a Dark Contract spell. Let's let my opponent do some of his cards. I don't want to just stop my opponent from playing. I never liked the idea of doing that, so I'm not going to do that. So, Dark Contract, that's DD monster. That will search out Griffin. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I still have Yubel here, so if my opponent does attack, I can use Spirit of Yubel to summon itself out to the field, which is why I kept this in my hand, just in case I need it. You know? And it is unfortunate we've already used up Hallo and Ween, but I do have the ability with Mizuki to use those more than once, so that's good. I'll negate this Gilgamesh monster. I think this is the important one, right? Yeah, because that gets him 2 pendulums, but I think he might already have pendulums. He definitely still had pendulums. Okay. Summon DD, target DD. And then this is if I summons a DD. Okay. I don't know, that's the difficult part. I think I should wait another second just in case. Just in case. So we'll summon that Griffin. I think he can summon Kepler too. Oh, no, he can't. He can't summon the Kepler, but that's okay. Do you have another card in his hand he can play? I don't think so. But yeah, what does the Griffin do? Summon this card, discard a contract to draw another card. Okay. Try to DD in the graveyard. Summon another Gilgamesh. I don't think you can use 2 in the same turn though, so I don't know why you did that. But, okay, I think I've managed to interrupt my opponent just enough to stop them from summoning out everything, but at least he's still able to try and make something out of his, what he's got. So, we'll find out soon. I don't really want to stop my opponent from everything, though. That's just not how I like to play the game. Okay, so we summon out another Gilgamesh. Let's see, this card... That's a fusion summon, okay. Fusion summoning into what? Hi, King Genghis. Spell Trapper's effect is activated, negate the activation. Can he stop super polymerization? I don't think he can. I might be mistaken, but we'll find out, I suppose. I really don't like that I have to use these to... Oh, what is this? Once per chain on a monster card, opponent controls activates effect attached to materials. Okay. Alright. Well, I think now is the time to use super polymerization. I'm going to activate super polymerization. I'll discard the King's Sarcophagus because I don't really want to use it right now. And I'm going to summon... I'm going to use the Duke of Demise, which is a neat card. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of my opponent's cards to summon this to the field. The Duke can't be destroyed at battle, which is nice. And I can banish it from the grave to recover one of my Fiends or my zombies, so it's a really cool card. So now my opponent, I've stopped him from attacking, but he can still attack my other monsters. One of them, though, is the Spirit of Yubel, so I'll summon that to my field. And Spirit of Yubel will get me the Nightmare Pain. While you control Yubel, tribute this card. No, I don't want to do that, no. But I will get Nightmare Pain. Just so I have that for later. Okay. I think this was a bit of a rough start, but now that we've gotten our cards in circulation, things are working pretty good. It is unfortunate some of the cards we milled at times, but, you know, The thing about the grass looks greener is you only play the one copy of it because that's all you can play. So it doesn't interrupt you as bad as you'd think. Okay, summoned another one of this creature. And now he's going to something happened. Oh, it was negated for some. Why was it negated? Okay, so now I can pay 500 or I can destroy my Duke. I'm actually going to choose to destroy the Duke. Because I can use its effect now and get back Ween. That way I can use Ween for things, and this... oh yeah, the Delta Temptation, my other field spell, because I recovered a zombie, I recovered the field spell too. That's really cool. So now that I have this, let's see. I can get back Yubel, that's good. This would send a zombie from my deck to the grave that's a high level, but right now I don't want to use that. So, usually you start with the Delta and then you go into the zombie world here. But this works too. So this requires my opponent to detach 2 materials. So I'm going to summon the Ween, the Spirit of Treats. So now my opponent has to pick either to make this monster gain... Oh, my opponent does have an effect. Okay, I'll negate that effect. I'm sorry, I just don't know what this does. So now my opponent either gives me a lot of attack or takes a lot of burn damage. They have to pick one or the other. I have a think, since I have Zombie World, yeah, everything's a zombie now, so it does a lot of damage. Let's me think now. Let's center equal to that monsters. Maybe 2 zombie monsters. Let's see. Once per chain, monster opponent item its effect is either attached to materials or destroy a dark contract. Let's see. Controlling one of these monsters. So you can do that many times, right? So I'm not going to overcomplicate this turn. I'm just going to attack my opponent. I think that's enough. Because I have Nightmare Pain, my Yubels actually do... my opponent takes the damage from this attack. So that'll be game right there. So, that's roughly what this deck is trying to do. We're trying to fill up the grave with zombies and or fiends. And then, well, mostly zombies, honestly, but, you know, fiends also play a part in this deck. And, yeah, the grass messed us up a little bit just because we didn't mill the cards we normally like to mill, but you get an idea of what we're trying to do. We summon out Balerdroch and other zombies. We summon out Yubel for the damage dealing, and then Hallo and Ween are summoned out. And they can either do a lot of battle damage or a lot of effect damage, depending on what my opponent wants to do. So, good for the first duel. Let's go for our second duel and see what other combos we can do, because there's a lot of them in this deck. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's do it again. We'll see. There are a lot of combos in this deck, and I really want to show them all off. It's really going to just depend on like what cards we draw and when we draw them. Let's see. Well, I really didn't want to play that again. I guess I should though. Alright, let's activate. I guess I should just play Zombie World and hope for this best in here. What is this? Every time your opponent summons a monster from the hand, every time your opponent summons a monster from the graveyard, draw a card. Okay. So I should just not summon monsters right yet. Okay. I think that's fine. I will activate Trick or Treat. See what monsters are left in my deck that I can search. Oh, they're both here still. Good. I'll get Ween for now. I want to summon Hollow too. But right now I don't need that. So let's get the Delta of Temptation. We're going to activate the Delta here, because I can always use my Banshee later. But we'll use the Delta of Temptation. We'll send Balerdroch to the graveyard. And... Yeah, I would normally like to let this wait, but I don't want my opponent to draw a lot of cards because of me doing stuff. So I'm just going to set a couple cards and end my turn. Sometimes you just need to take your time. Sometimes you just need to wait a turn. You don't need to overcomplicate the game. So we'll summon back this Doom King monster. And I really do need to draw some other cards, but with any luck we'll still be able to do something. I just need to draw more things. Target a special summon monster or destroy it. Banish 2 cards. Oh. I see. Where's my graveyard button? It's my extra deck. No. There it is. Okay, so... I mean, the Unizombies are in the graveyard, and that's good. But I didn't get rid of any of my Mizukis, unfortunately. So Runick Slumber, you say. Okay. So this is a Runick deck? I guess. That just means I need to have a monster on my field, and I should be okay. So Runick, we'll get him life points. I mean, I have life points too, so that's good. So let's get Doom King Balerdroch back on the field. Just in case I need him. We'll activate the 1-for-1 spell, discarding Yubel, Terror Incarnate. That way I can get at my Samsara Lotus. Hopefully I still have monsters in my deck I can use to summon this. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. My opponents just do not want me to play cards today. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I guess I'll use Super Polymerization on this Moonin creature. We're going to... I'll summon the Duke of Demise, because it's a nice monster to have in my graveyard. We're going to... Let me think. This is another card I can summon, yeah. Okay. We're going to summon Flying Mary, the Wandering Ghost Ship. This is a cool card. Because what this card does is I can target my high-level zombies in the graveyard, and I can revive them using this ghost ship. It's really cool. It also lets me destroy monsters, but... Oh, it's special summoning another monster, a Runick from the extra deck. Okay. Summoning... Let's see, what does this do? Need to play... This card's destroy battle card effect, target a Runick, add to the... Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and use this to revive Doom King Balerdroch now. So this goes here, and Balerdroch goes here. Next, we're going to use the Duke of Demise's effect. I can add any of my monsters back to my hand. In this case, I'm going to get Gozuki. Because if I have Gozuki, and I could get back the Delta as well, I'll get that back in case I need to discard cards. I think that's okay. And I'll normal summon Gozuki. So, Gozuki's effect will go ahead and send another monster to the graveyard, being Mizuki. Because now all my monsters are zombies. So now I can bring back whatever I need. In this case, because I never got to show off this combo, I'd like to show off the combo. So I'm going to summon back my Goblin Biker. When Goblin Biker gets summoned, I can get one of my Goblin Biker spell traps, and that'll be my grand breakout. I hope I didn't send all the goblins to the graveyard. That would be really unfortunate. But yeah, I'll tribute off one of my monsters. Okay, this works. It's all there. Biker's Gone Wild. It's a really nice card. When I summon it, I can summon out my Goblin Zombie from my hand, or my deck to the field, I should say. And now that I have all that, there's a lot of things I could summon. I'm gonna summon Vampire Fascinator. Mostly because it's stronger than Vampire Sucker, but it works either way. So we'll use Fascinator's effect. Oh, I can take one of these monsters. I guess it doesn't really matter who. Everything's a zombie anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll summon back this monster, and I'm going to add to my hand. Unfortunately, I don't have any way of summoning these at the moment, which is unfortunate, but okay. So what was the other effect of this? Let's see. Tribute to Vampire, target a monster opponent controls, take control until the end phase. Sure. So I'll take control of his Runick monster. That way I can turn that into... let's see. Yeah, because I have two monsters on my opponents. I can summon out Zombie Vampire here. I'll use its effect. So then, let's see. Does this banish? No, it doesn't banish spell traps. But that's okay. So what can I bring back? I will bring back... Spirit of Yubel. Alright. Now we're really seeing the combos in this deck, and that's good. That's what we want to see happen. Unfortunately, I don't have Nightmare Pain anymore, but that's okay. Because I'm going to use Mizuki here, and I can revive whatever I'd like. I can bring back, like, Goblin Zombie. I can bring back a lot of things. I guess I'll bring back, Unizombie. Because I can still send a monster to the grave. Not that it really matters too much, but I'll do it anyway, so... we'll send the Mad Mauler. Because then I can use this monster's effect. Remove 2 levels from Spirit of Yubel to summon it back. And then I can Synchro Summon into Red-Eyed Zombie Dragon Lord. That's pretty neat. Alright, so I think we're good now. Let's enter the battle phase. And my opponent, well, unfortunately they surrendered. Unfortunate that, but I mean, I didn't have the game, right? 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, or maybe I did. Actually, I think I might have had enough for the one shot, well, the one turn knockout that we were supposed to do with Fight first, but didn't. But yeah, that's what we really want to see. That's really what this deck does when it starts doing all the combos. And I'm glad we got to show up the Goblin Zombie combo, because that was one of the more nifty sort of combos this deck does. But we have time for one more duel. So let's go into the final duel and really try to get Hallo or Ween on the board, because while they've been present, they haven't really done anything yet, so I'd like to do that. Alright everyone, our third and final duel of the day. The fight in third and all that, and let's see what our opening hand looks like. A little rough. I mean, I have the zombie world. It's the most basic thing we can do with this deck, but at least it's something. I normally like to have more things to do, but it'll have to do. So we'll summon out Balerdroch, just so we have a monster on our field. And I do have Super Poly, so, I can use that to discard one of these cards, so that's something. I mean, with a 60-card deck, you will have a brick every once in a while, so I should be grateful I have, something at least. At least I have monsters on the board, so I'll have to deal with that. Alright, the hero lives. Summon an elemental hero from the deck, that being this monster. Adds a change quick play spell from the deck to the hand. Okay. This card sent to the graveyard, add a hero monster. Okay. Interesting, I guess. What do we have now? Vision Hero Vion. Let's see. Send a hero from the deck to the graveyard. Okay. Heroes. Okay. Okay, so my opponent's got a combo deck himself, and he bricked a little less than I did, so that's not necessarily good. We're just gonna have to hope that we can interrupt that. I mean, I have a negation and a banishing with the Balerdroch, and I have the Super Poly, so I think that's enough. I could be wrong though, but we'll find out. Again, I just want to see Hallo and Ween. I don't know why it's being more difficult than that. No, not yet. I know he has the other change spell, and he has that too. Oh no, that's not good. He's playing Super Polymerization too. If he Super Polymerizations my Balerdroch, well, that's a lot less cards I can use. That's unfortunate. Alright, what is this? Masked Hero Dark Law. Okay. I mean, that's really unfortunate because I was going to use those cards to... I was going to use Balerdroch to stop my opponent, but now I'm going to have to try something else. Let me think about this. Yeah, probably still going to discard Yubel at the end of all this, but let's start by hitting my opponent with the Super Polymerization. Unfortunately, Yubel gets banished, I just remembered, but it's what it is. Who do I want to summon? The Duke is again a good card, but I don't have enough cards in the graveyard to make it work, so I'm going to instead go ahead and summon out this other monster, Draco Necro the Nether Soul Dragon. It's a really powerful attacking monster, and it does summon out tokens when it attacks monsters, so that's really cool. Okay. I mean, this might not be the combos I was hoping to see, but at least I'm able to do something, so, you know, I can't complain. And unfortunately, my opponent surrenders. Well, that is unfortunate indeed. Well, unfortunately, I only had so much time for today, so yeah, unfortunately, that's going to have to be where it ends today. Not seeing every combo, but let's go for the end screen. I'll explain some of the combos we didn't see, and we'll talk about this deck a bit more. Alright, everybody, so the Halloween Spooky Spectacular, I guess technically went 3-0, although the last duel was a little, you know, a little chintzier the last duel, but sometimes that happens. You know, we didn't get to see Hallo or Ween as much, but I hope it's, you know, clear what the idea is with this deck. Going with these monsters. We're just trying to get the graveyard full of cards, full of monsters, and then use the field spells. We either make our monsters zombies or not, and then we're able to either do a lot of battle or a lot of burn damage with these. And other than that, it's all about what other monsters do. The zombies are coming back from the graveyard, and the Yubels are doing the damage to the opponent, you know, and they all just kind of come together. The Horuses, they still do their thing as well. It's not as important. They're mostly here to allow me to discard things, but they're very useful in themselves. So I'm happy with, like, we got to see a lot of the combos this deck does, especially with the zombie goblin. That was good. We didn't get to see every single card, but we saw enough of them that you should hopefully get a good idea of how this deck is supposed to be played. So I hope everyone enjoyed watching it played. I enjoyed playing the deck. If you did enjoy it, please consider hitting the like button and consider the subscription to the channel to help it grow. Leave a comment below regardless of what you thought of the deck. What's your favorite? Do you like Hallo or Ween more? Which is your preferred monster, I guess? And yes, real quick though, before we end it, here's the deck list in case you want to try this deck yourself. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So for the main deck, we run one each of the Yubel monsters, Ultimate Nightmare, Incarnate, and Yubel. You really don't need more than these, but you know it's good to have one of each. 3 copies of the Spirit of Yubel for searching your spell traps, as well as being a hand trap monster that, you know, it can be turned into Yubel. 3 copies of Imseti because it searches the sarcophagus. 1 Geist Grinder Golem, which, you know, sometimes you need to give your opponent a monster to attack it with the Yubels, so Geist Golem is good for a 1-up card here. 1 Algul Mazera to protect your zombies from being destroyed by stuff. 1 Balerdroch to negate and banish your opponent's cards and be an ever-present danger if you have Zombie World on the board. 1 each of the other Horus monsters, because that's what you do. 1 copy of Goblin Bikers Gone Wild. It's a really cool card when you summon this thing out, by whatever means. It summons a goblin from the deck, being with any of our goblins really, but mostly for the goblin zombie combo there. 1 Necro Banshee to get the field spell, 1 Gozuki to send zombies to the grave, 2 Mizukis to revive zombies, 1 Goblin Zombie, because whenever it has an effect when it does battle damage, which isn't that important. But when it's sent from the field to the grave, it adds any zombie with 1200 less defense from the deck to the hand. That includes Mizuki, Gozuki, Banshee, Unizombie, the Crazy Clown, Bloom. It doesn't search these 2, but it searches all the other zombies. So that's really cool. 1 each of... Oh yeah, it searches Hallows. Not Hallow, but Ween. Searches Ween. That's the important part. We have Hallo and Ween. They can either do battle or effect damage, depending on what your opponent chooses, depending on what monsters are in the graveyard. I know we have a lot more zombie focus in this deck, but we do have enough Fiends that at least Hallo can do something here. 2 copies of Doug Charger, which can be summoned if you detach a material from one of your monsters or your opponents. Searches out your spells of the Goblin Biker variety, so that's neat. We also have Goblin Biker Mean Merciless, which can summon a goblin from the hand. It's a useful card if you happen to draw into Gone Wild and you just want to summon 2 monsters, so that's something. 3 copies of Unizombie, which is just a really good generic zombie card. 1 Mad Mauler, which is a tuner we can summon from the graveyard. 3 Samsara Lotus for our Yubel monsters. 1 Glow Bloom for our zombie monsters. 1 for 1, because we have a lot of level 1 monsters in this deck. All 4 of them. And also we like to discard stuff. 3 copies of Trick or Treat, which searches either Hallo or Ween. This is what allows us to play less of those monsters, because this just lets me search whichever one I need at any given time. The Grass That Looks Greener, bit of a tricky card as we saw today, that sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but normally it's just fine, because you know, you're getting your graveyard full of monsters and that's what you want to do with this deck. It just depends on what setup you do before you play it that really determines how effective it is. Card destruction is really good if you have a dead hand. It just gets rid of a hand and gets you a new one. Terraforming can get you a field spell, which, you know, we have ways of getting field spells, but it's always good to choose which one you get. Foolish Bear to send any of your zombies or fiends to the graveyard. 2 copies of Left Arm Offering, because this lets you banish the cards in your hand if you don't happen to need them or they're extras. It lets you add a spell trap to your hand, things like Grass Looks Greener, Terraforming, whatever you need. Goblin Biker's Grand Breakout lets you tribute a monster to summon a goblin from the deck. You can't attack, but that's really not relevant for this deck. And then, what was the other effect of this? Declares attack. The other effect doesn't matter because we're not playing the Goblin Exceeds, but if you were playing the other Goblin Exceeds, then it would matter, but it doesn't matter. The more important thing is, this lets you tribute a monster to summon a goblin. That's the main thing. 3 copies of Super Polymerization to, you know, fuse with your opponent's stuff. 3 King Sarcophagus, this lets me discard the cards in my hand to get the Horus monsters going. 1 Nightmare Pain, which could also be 2 if you felt like 2 is better. But this lets me destroy dark monsters to get Yubel monsters and cards like that. So that's a useful thing. 2 The Delta of Temptation. Essentially, this lets me Foolish Burial one of my high-level zombies. It gives me a token if I have a zombie, and if I recover a zombie, I can recover the field spell. So this is a really good card to switch in between Zombie World and this thing, depending on which Hallo or Ween you're going to be summoning out and doing the damage with. 3 Zombie World to turn everything into zombies and really, you know, allow Mizuki to summon out anything you want. And then Eternal Favorite, which can revive Yubels, and it also allows me to fusion summon into our big Yubel boss. As for the extra deck, we'll go a little quicker. We have Flying Mary, which can revive a high-level zombie, and then it also allows you to destroy cards or a monster your opponent controls that's weaker than that zombie. Vampire Sucker draws you a card when a zombie gets revived, and can also revive monsters to your opponent's side of the field, which is actually pretty useful with Yubel being a thing in here, so that's an option as well. There's Fascinator here, which can revive an opponent's monster to your field and tribute itself to steal another monster of your opponent's, which is really handy for not only stealing your opponent's cards, but for using for Undead Vampire as well. We're playing the Hope Harbinger in case we need another rank 8, but honestly you can just as well play 2 copies of Zombie Vampire for how good it is in this deck, just sending all the cards in our deck to the grave and reviving a monster. We have Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is just here to pop 1 field spell and activate the other one, but it also lets me summon a monster from my hand, so it's pretty useful. Skeletal Dragon Felgrand can banish a monster in opponent's controls or is in their graveyard. And as well, if a monster is special summoned from either graveyard, you can target a monster and gain its effects for a turn, so a good card to interrupt the opponent. Red-Eyed Zombie Dragonlord can revive a zombie monster in your graveyard during your opponent's turn, and it can revive itself as well. Changing makes your monsters stronger and your opponent's monsters weaker for everything that's banished. And, what was the other thing? If this, let's see, if this guy would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish a card. And if a card gets banished, you can banish more cards to your opponent. So, really powerful monster that. Bestial Dispater, which I just realized I can't really summon because I don't play dragons. Why did Memphis put this in here? That's weird. Instead of Dispater, maybe things like Immortal Dragon, just for more monster sending to the graveyard and things like that. So, yeah, Immortal Dragon. I don't know, why was Memphis putting dragons in here? Anyway, we have Garura, the Wings of Resonant Life, is one of our super poly targets. Allows me to just, when it goes to the grave, it draws me another card, which is great. Does double battle damage, which is interesting. And it's just really easy to summon. The Duke of Demise is really cool combined with Zombie World, because, everything's a zombie now. And also this just works in general, because its requirements are 2 Fiends or Zombies. You can't be beaten in battle. It gives you another normal summon. And you can banish it to recover one of your level 4 or higher Fiend or Zombies. And most of our important cards like that are, level 4 or higher. We have Draco Necro, which is good for beat stick material and destroying my opponent's stuff. We have Phantom of Yubel, which can interrupt my opponent's effects to force them to destroy our Yubel cards. And then we have Yubel, the Loving Defender Forever, which is kind of like the end-of-the-road boss in this deck, for doing a lot of burn damage to my opponent. So that's what that does. As for the side deck, a couple little things. There's Grand Crisis for the Goblin Bikers. Just another spell trap that they can search, and this can interrupt my opponent. Another Delta if you find you need it. Call by if you find that your opponent's playing a lot of hand traps and things. Masquerena if you want to go for different links in the lake and make those links indestructible. There's also the Goblin Biker Exceeds themselves, so we can't really make them in this deck too well unless you played more Goblin Bikers in themselves. There's Double A Zeus, but we really don't want to lose our whole board if we can help it. There's Red-Eyed Zombie Necro Dragon. Dispater is still in here because of some reason. Mud Dragon's another good super poly target. Gruesome Grave Skirmer's a good card to combine with the Yubels if you need more Fiends. Relink Karibo is a nice monster to just have in the graveyard. And then Diabolico the Dragonite Dreadnought is good if you have it in the graveyard and one of your Fiends is sent to the grave by a card effect, such as ours or your opponent's. So, that's the deck, everybody. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Next time, I think Memphis is playing the new Arcana Force monsters finally, so that'll be neat. But until next time, which will be soon because I have another scary game stream I gotta plan. I, Spooky Memphis, will be saying goodbye to you all for now. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you have a lovely evening. Until next time, stay safe and happy, and you have a wonderful time. Take care.